However, we will be uploading clips throughout those days and on our scheduled times as always. Combs, let's go ahead and break into it here. Let's get into some NFC South talk here. The first team we are going to talk about here is the defending Super Bowl champs, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They've returned all 22 starters from last year's team. They've also added some depth throughout the draft, and the coaching staff is a 1 year experience. The team together is another year experience as well. And they also signed Tom Brady to a 2-year extension, extending him to 2023. So all signs are pointing towards Tampa Bay Buccaneers being a great team. So let me ask you this question first here, Combs, before we get too carried away deep into their schedule. What do you have their overall record being in here in 2021?
Look, looking at the schedule, looking at who this team is, what they are, this team's going to be nothing short of a juggernaut. They are 15-2 this year.
Really, 15-2.
Yeah.
And you know what, Combs? You don't know how bad I wanted them to put them at 2-15 or 3-14, but they got an easy ass schedule. How does this defending Super Bowl champs have this easy of the schedule? I mean, they play the Patriots, they play the Giants, they play the Falcons, the Cowboys. I mean, the Cowboys are good on paper, but
they do get Buffalo. They do get Buffalo. They do get Indy. They do get Washington,
which is going to be a great game.
Yeah,
hopefully.
But and they get the Rams, so they've got a couple of tough games, but a lot of their tough games are at home.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those. It's just one of those schedules that just I don't think they lose at home, and I've got them going 7-2 on the road. So
it's a very, very favorable schedule. So you have them going 15-2. What is that one game that you have circled that is kind of popping out at you like must-see TV? Like this is a game that can make them go 17-0 possibly. What is that one game?
I don't think there's just one game. I think the Rams, Buffalo, obviously the two New Orleans games are going to be huge for that division alone. But I think the Rams and Buffalo are probably the two ones that jump off the page to me. Also, that Colts game is going to be huge as well. Opening week against the Dallas Cowboys is going to be a big one. Thursday night football. We know crazy things happen on Thursday nights,
especially opening night.
Yeah, especially opening night. So, if I have to circle one, I guess I'm most looking forward to seeing what they do against the Rams in Week 3. That Rams defense is so good. I'm very high on the Rams, and so I'd like to see how the Rams perform. It is in L.A., and so I actually do have the Rams winning that one as well. That's one of the 2 losses on the season that I have for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And if I'm not mistaken, that is L.A.'s first home game of the season as well. And if we want to revert back to what Luke G said last night here on the Man Hour on the Shot Talk, he said he has taken every home team their first home game because of the whole fan situation. Like the first time seeing a football game live in a year. And
I get that, but I don't feel like there are some places where it's just not that big of a deal. Jacksonville, it's not that big of a deal. Places where it may matter, places where it might sneak in a win for a team might be like the Raiders, who I think might have a down year, but it could factor in I'm trying to think of places that are just hard. Green Bay, obviously Lambeau Field.
Ford Field is hard to play in.
Yeah. Chicago, Soldier Field.
Yeah.
That'll be a huge one. They're going to be loud here in Chicago.
How about Seattle? We're overlooking Seattle, home of the
man, Seattle's a big one. San Francisco, Arizona. Arizona. Yeah. So Kansas City. Yeah. Kansas City's another play. Arrowhead's really tough to play at when the crowd's loud. That place gets really loud. So
just as Tom Brady and the Patriots when we broke that sound barrier. Football. So you had that Week 3 matchup, the Buccaneers losing that game versus the Rams, and you had them going 15-2 on the season. What is their divisional record? Do you have them sweeping through through the division, or their second loss?
I do not. I have them at 5-1. I have their other loss, one of the games against the Saints. I think they'll split against the Saints, but they'll sweep everybody else.
Is it the Week 8 game versus the Saints, or the
it is?
What's that?
It's the Week 8 game in New Orleans.
Okay.
New Orleans is another tough place to play, especially when it's loud. So, I give it to New Orleans, especially since it's a divisional game. If this was just a one-off game, it might be a different story.
Yeah. So 15-2. Clearly, that's probably going to be one of the best. That's probably going to be the best record in the NFC. Are you assuming they're going to be the first overall seed going into the playoffs with that record?
Not so fast, my friend. We haven't gotten to that division yet.
Okay, not so fast. Okay. So you had them going 15-2. I actually had them going 12-5. So as much as they have a very favorable schedule, and I think they're going to start the season off hot, because first of all, they're returning their whole team. They're coming off the Super Bowl win, and they are going to be clicking still going into about Week 7. Then they're going to run into that roadblock called a division opponent in the New Orleans Saints. I had that Week 8 game circled with the New Orleans Saints, much like what you do, and I actually had the Saints beating them just because the Buccaneers are not going to go undefeated. They are not going to go 17-0. They're not going to go 20-0. Like it is just not going to happen. Sometimes you have to lose a game to kind of gather your thoughts. To be like, hey, you know what? We still need to improve in XYZ spot, and that Week 8 game is a humbling point, right?
Yeah.
Then they got a Week 9 bye week happening, but then Week 10. This is the big game that I have circled. We've already broken down the Washington football team, so you guys know where I'm going with this one. But I have the Washington football team beating to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well, giving the Buccaneers 2 losses in a row. But it does not stop there, buddy. It does not stop there. Week 12, Week 13, I had them both losing to the Colts and Falcons, and then the Buccaneers. So I had them losing 5 out of their next 6 games after Week 8.
How do you have them losing to the Falcons?
It is a division opponent.
No Julio Jones.
They still got Julio Jones right now.
Come on. Julio Jones is going to be gone. You know Julio Jones is going to be gone.
It's a pretty good possibility. Yes.
This Atlanta team's going to be, and we'll get to them in a little while, but they're not losing to Atlanta. I'm sorry. And they're not losing to Carolina this year.
See, the Falcons game is the only game I could go back and forth on.
Yeah.
But I have them, but I have them losing to the Colts. I have them losing to the Bills. I have them losing to the football team. I have them losing to the Saints. So
Stop
if
calling
I were
them the football team, they're the damn Redskins.
They're the Red Tails, aren't they?
They're the Redskins.
But they are 12-5, and I think that Week 10 matchup is the key to a 12-5 record. Like if they lose, or a 15-2 record if they win that game. So I kind of have like the baseline at 12 wins and the ceiling like at 15 wins for them if they win that Week 10 game, which I actually have them losing. So let me get a big shout out here.
Coming off a bye, huh?
Mr. Road Warrior himself, Ruben Roy. That is my guy right there. Never had a defense or an offensive lineman touch me when this guy was playing in front of me. This guy puts on the best eye black ever. I just want to put that out there as as well. Always
what's going on, Ruben?
So what were you saying before I interrupted you?
So you've got them losing to the football team, the Redskins, after a bye week.
Yeah, well, the football team's also coming off a bye week as well. But the biggest X factor for them is the Buccaneers were coming into that game 7-0, and then they get thumped by the Saints, by Ruben's Saints. Ruben is a Saints guy here. So, and I think that thumping of the Saints that they took kind of make them say, "Whoa, wait a minute," and they're kind of gun shy a tad bit. So
hey, Ruben,
that's why I have it.
Stay tuned because we're about to do the Saints, and I might be making you happy, buddy.
In a couple minutes here. So that is the main reason why I have them losing to the football team. Now, if they beat the Saints, it is not impossible for them to go 16-1. The only game that I'm guaranteeing that they're going to lose is that Week 12 game versus the Colts, because going to Indianapolis, playing Carson Wentz, a top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
Stop.
That defense is probably top 5. I
quarterback.
mean, that Colts team's
You're
going
out
to
of
be
your
really
You're out
good.
of your mind.
So, who is your MVP for the Buccaneers this season?
I mean, come on.
Tom Brady.
Come on. It's that guy. It's that guy, Tom Brady. Look, Tom Brady to me, and I've said this on other occasions. Tom Brady is going to be the greatest quarterback in the NFL, the best quarterback in the NFL until the day he dies. Even after he's retired, he's still the best quarterback in the NFL until he dies. That's the only thing that's going to stop him from being the. I'm telling you right now, Tom Brady MVP.
But I can tell you so Tom Brady is kind of that easy pick, just because like if the team does well, Tom Brady obviously is going to do well as well. But Tom Brady is not going to go anywhere without that offensive line. I mean, he has to have that protection like he had in the Super Bowl versus my Kansas City Chiefs, because if people don't touch Tom is a very happy man. He is throwing the ball down the field. He is having fun. He gets hit 1 or 2
And if he does
times,
get touched, he throws 3 picks and they still win.
Well, but he also starts to implode a little bit. Like he gets pissed off and starts to crumble down a little bit.
So you think he's got a little bit of that Peyton Manning in him?
Yeah, 100%. So
okay,
if I had to
I've
pick
never seen
one
that,
guy,
but okay.
I'm going to go with the center and Ryan Jensen. But as a whole, I think the whole offensive line has to be the MVP for them to repeat in the Super Bowl.
That's an interesting one. I like that pick.
Any closing thoughts before we head on to the New Orleans Saints?
I just, with your point of him imploding if he gets touched, I don't see that. I've never seen that from Tom Brady. That's one of the things because I hate the Patriots. I hate everything about the Patriots. I can't stand their fans. I can't stand the team. But Tom Brady to me is the greatest quarterback to ever live, and the reason why is because I've watched him take hit after hit after hit and still come in. I've watched him complete 20-yard passes downfield knowing that Ray Lewis came through the line untouched and took the hit and completed a 20-yard pass down the center of the field.
Are you telling me that Tom Brady does not yell at his teammates on the sideline?
Oh, of course he does. But that's what every good leader does. That's what every good quarterback does. You don't think Aaron Rodgers yells at his guys when he gets touched?
Some people don't. Some people don't respond well to that. Just like the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, but that's what every leader does. I mean, we were talking about it with Justin Herbert. How good Justin Herbert was and how much of a leader he was, because on the sidelines he was yelling at his guys. Like that's what a leader does. A leader will get in your face and tell you when you're doing wrong, and when you're doing well, he's going to reward you for doing well as too. So don't tell me that Tom Brady's offensive linemen don't get freaking cars and watches and all sorts of stuff in the offseason, because I